Billy Wilder's Sunset Boulevard is a famous film from the 50s that appears to tell a story about the events that lead to the murder of screenwriter Joe Gillis. This story mainly takes place in silent film star Norma Desmond's mansion. The small details in the mansion reveal the true message of the film, the fate of Hollywood stars once they are no longer in the spotlight due to their age and the natural evolution of the Hollywood industry.
Used to be in silent pictures, used to be big.
I am big. It's the pictures that got small.
The mansion and the contents inside are a representation of Norma's age, her career, and the silent film era. The audience gets a glimpse at Norma's mansion in the opening scene of the film, but it isn't until Joe stumbles upon it in an attempt to hide his car that viewers really get a good look. The first noticeable characteristic about the house is the enormity of it and how Norma looks very small. This can represent her career. It was once big, like the house, but now she is lost within it, unable to find success or her way out. The mansion gives her a space and allows her to be confined to her past successes and to her delusions. A giant mansion for just one person also shows Norma's loneliness. She has chosen wealth and fame over companionship and love.
Whose room was this?
It was the room of the husband. Of the husbands, I should say. Madame has been married 3 times.
With a second glance, its age becomes very apparent. The mansion is old, appearing lifeless and rotting. The physical state that the mansion's in is also made to represent Norma herself. Both the house and Norma are aging alone and abandoned, Norma being abandoned by her fans and her career. While Norma is represented by the mansion, silent films are too. The mansion is deteriorating, clinging onto life, much like the silent film era and their stars. The decline of the house and the decline of Norma represent the death of the age of silent films.
Haven't they got any eyes? Have they forgotten what a star looks like? I'll show them. I'll be up there again, so help me.
Norma can put work into the house, such as redoing the pool or decluttering a room, to make it appear nice and new, but it will always be outdated and never as good as a new house. Silent films and their stars are similar to the mansion in this way.
I want you to do this work.
Me?
Norma can put all of her time and energy into writing a silent film once talking pictures were created, and even recruit help from experienced writers, but the silent film will stay outdated. Now that we've unpacked the meaning behind the mansion as a building, we can look at the contents within. Every room in the house displays 2 things: her abundance of wealth and her younger, former self. Speaking on the wealth, she has expensive chandeliers, a ceiling imported from Portugal, a bowling alley, and a private movie theater. Norma loves highlighting where certain aspects of her house came from or which famous person they were inspired by.
You know, this floor used to be wood, but I had it changed. Valentino said there's nothing like tile for a tango. Come on.
Due to Norma being a woman who has gotten older, appearances are something she can no longer personally keep up with.
Norma Desmond is coming in to see you, Mr. DeMille.
Norma Desmond?
She must be 1,000,000 years old.
This emphasis on appearances has contributed to her decline from stardom. She uses expensive floors and ceilings to distract from the aging of the house, much like she uses beauty treatments to hide her own age from the cameras. Norma is present in every room in the house through hundreds and hundreds of pictures of her younger self.
Whose house is it?
Hers?
Whose?
Just look around. There's a lot of her spread about. If you don't remember the face, you must have heard the name.
There is not a room in the house that does not have her face and her former glory on display. These pictures are a sad attempt to preserve her youth and fame and to offer a sense of immortality.
Still wonderful, isn't it? And no dialogue. We didn't need dialogue. We had faces. There just aren't any faces like that anymore.
These photos displayed around her house show the very face that made her career. It is ironic that she highlights her younger face through pictures to cling to her former self, only resulting in emphasizing the age in her current face and the loss this has caused her. The pictures that clutter her house create a memorial to Norma and her past success in Hollywood. This cluttered space is a symbol for her mind, as both are littered with images and memories of herself and the past that she desperately clings on to. She will never be able to move on from the past and let go of her delusions if she surrounds herself in a place like this, yet she never leaves. She confines herself to her mansion and to her mind. This seems like an intentional choice coming from a fear of the outside, a fear of rejection, and a fear of being told she's no longer a star.
The greatest star of them all.
These details in the mansion are all intentional choices by Wilder to help display his view on Hollywood. He uses the setting of the film as a tool to show the impacts of the progression of Hollywood and the pressures placed on their stars.
You know, a dozen press agents working overtime can do terrible things to the human spirit.
The mansion naturally ages and will eventually fall. The same fate for the two main characters, Norma in her fall from stardom and into handcuffs, and Joe in his fall into the pool to his death.